penultimate race of the first day of Henley 2024. We have Shiplake College against Godolphin and Latymer. Shiplake on the far side, and we're just coming over the shoulder of the Godolphin and Latymer cocks here. Olivia Wilson. This is the Prince Philip Challenge Trophy for junior women's eights.
The cocks there and the Godolphin crew seems quite relaxed, isn't she? There with her arms crossed, just sitting still. Now getting herself ready, putting her hands on the rudder strings.
You make a good point though, actually if you're in a crew, you really want the cocks who gives you a sense of calm and confidence, particularly at a moment like this, because you want to really focus and feel the cocks has got everything under control, and all you've got to do is apply yourself in the way you've trained countless times.
And you can see the boat still not on straight yet. The Godolphin crew still pointing in towards the Shiplake crew, and the bow girl, the two girls, sorry, is taking some very short strokes just to move the bows of the boat across. If she pulls too hard, she'll detach the crew. So the cox has got her hand up, waiting to make sure she's happy the boat's straight and her hand is down.
Yeah, and in the Shiplake crew, the hand of Oliver Joyner is up currently, meaning that also not happy in the same thing. Maybe there's a bit of wind. You can see the white boat drifting leftwards a bit, and hand comes down from Shiplake, and up now for Godolphin and Latymer. And down, other hands up. Maybe a little bit of wind. You can just see in the flag to the top of the picture there, just blowing them around. A bit of nerves perhaps as well. Hands up and down is not really what you want. You want to get the race underway now.
And hand coming up again for Godolphin. She's blowing across as the Shiplake cox's hand was up. She's not happy. It's good that she's not putting it, because you want to make sure you're straight.
This is making me tense just watching them all sitting there. You can feel the legs are going to be starting to shake. Both hands are down. Here we go.
Both hands up again.
Come on.
This is so nerve-wracking. Let's go, hands down and go straight.
Don't go and put the kettle on, it's going to be away in any minute, but the extra tension could be a distraction for these girls. Let's hope they're both well drilled. Away we go.
Go!
And both crews away cleanly and straight. Well done from both crews.
Shiplake on the left, just one stretch down from their home water. Godolphin and Latymer rowing out in London, away cleanly. What's the form here, Adrian? What are you expecting to unfold?
Well, Shiplake were 5th at national schools, and Godolphin, they basically are a younger crew. Four of the girls were in the J16 Cox 4 that won a gold medal, so they're a younger crew, less experienced. So on form, you say the Shiplake crew is probably a favourite. But here the Godolphin Latymer crew really still attacking and giving themselves a chance, three-quarters of a length here after 30-40 seconds into the race.
Yeah, so Godolphin and Latymer have already sort of slipped back a little bit against Shiplake. Shiplake have pulled out to maybe half a length from this angle, and look at the focus and the relaxation on those faces, really trying to apply themselves, but in a loose and fluid way in this penultimate race today. Yeah,
really nice horizontal rowing here. And the bodies are very quiet when they're rowing, and they're not interrupting the hull at all. And it's giving them some very easy speed as they move away here from Godolphin.
So yeah, it looks like Shiplake are pulling away already in the first 300 or 400 metres of the race, and Godolphin and Latymer trying to stay in contact. These are the oars of the Godolphin and Latymer crew. Could do a little bit of paintwork there, Adrian, to be out there in
quiet hours yesterday.
First race of Henley. A little bit of attention to detail there, but it's not so much the paint as what's been painted down the river by the crews that's important here.
And you can see even here the intent of the rowing from the Godolphin crew. When the blades go in the water, there really is an intent to accelerate their hips and pull the handle, and that's really the right kind of approach to generate boat speed.
Yeah, so great junior women's rowing here from the Godolphin Latymer crew, but perhaps even more so from Shiplake on the far side. Would you say the advantage here is in the difference in power? Is it in the difference in experience? Is it technical? Here we see the Shiplake blade, so you can contrast them perhaps.
Yeah, and the way that the blades are going in the water very nicely, it's not rough. They're just picking the boat up and moving very efficiently. I just think the crews are probably a bit stronger, a bit more experienced, and just rowing better because of that. You know, it's always easier to be more technical if you're a stronger athlete.
We just saw Oliver Joyner, the cox there, with his back to us, just glance over his shoulder, indicating that there's a bit of a gap now. He has to look around to see the opposition crew and just make sure he is providing the right information to the junior women in front of him as they propel themselves through into the second quarter of this race.
And this is ironically a difficult position for an experienced crew like Shiplake, where they've got a margin quite quickly, and it's very easy to now for everybody to think slightly differently and think, well, we've got this, we can relax, and then it becomes disjointed and heavy, and then actually you make the whole race really hard work, even though you're quite a long way up.
Yeah, so here we go. Shiplake are going to go past our camera. Beautiful shot as we see all the women go past. You get a sense of the speed of the boat, actually, which we don't often as we follow the race down. And they've got, well, maybe half a length of clear water now between theirs and the boat of Godolphin Latymer. Or I called it wrong, maybe it's even a length now. Shiplake really moving nicely.
Yeah, they are moving now. Again, similar to what we saw with Lager now, the gap between their puddles and their stroke is starting to open up as they start to move away. You know, one of the good guidelines is can you chain, like we talked about before, at 30 strokes a minute.
Yeah, so what Adrian's looking for there is just the succession of those puddles as they slowly disappear behind the boat, like a continuous chain that's been put down through the river. Beautiful rowing here. You can see the smoothness that you were talking about there, Adrian, from overhead, can't you?
And it's a unique thing in the 8, isn't it? Because the 4s and the pairs and the singles, the gaps between the puddles are enormous, so you don't have this effect. It's a unique thing to the 8s.
Yeah, it's almost like a sort of an old 35mm film with the holes either side of it as the puddles go down behind the crew. And, well, they're sort of making beautiful pictures here for us too, the women of Shiplake, as they go through the middle of the course in the long wavelength, beautiful golden sun shining across the Thames here at Henley in our 185th regatta. It's already a record breaker, this regatta, the biggest ever entry, the most international entries, and we haven't even started breaking the records as we write history with some of these races.
Yeah, and here you can see even the Godolphin steering's really good, staying along on the boom line there, and the crew just really staying at their race pace and still being aggressive. It's one of those things about this sport, isn't it? A lot of people who don't know rowing find this event brutal. You can train all year to come to an event, and you have a one-off race. There's no second chances. There's no plate event. Once you've been beaten, it's over.
It's beautiful and it's brutal. That's the nature of Henley Royal Regatta. You want to get your name in the history books. You're making bonds with your crewmates. You're trying to write history. But there's no second chances.
Even here with the Godolphin crew, they've got the cables on their telemetry on their boat. That's the level of attention to detail these crews are doing. Even this crew here, with these young athletes, is using whatever they can to go as fast as they can.
Yeah, great to see the investment in technology and people and training for junior women's rowing here in Great Britain as we look down towards that glorious finish line. There's a picture for you. This is why everybody wants to come to Henley. This is why we have record entries, and this is the picture that tells you why we row.
And these are, like, for this Shiplake crew at the moment, they can actually, what I found when I was racing, when you're going flat out, you can't hear the crowd. In a situation like this, where you're composed and you are within yourself, they can actually enjoy and listen to the crowd cheering them as they go past.
Yeah, you're right. There is nothing more enjoyable, really, than sitting in a position like this for Shiplake. They're pretty much close to their home water. They can soak up the atmosphere, make memories, and, well, it'll also forge the bonds between these women. We have many, many crews come back to Henley and celebrate wins from previous years, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60 years ago, and that's what many people who are congregating on the bank are doing now, sharing those bonds and memories from years gone by and appreciating the athleticism of the two crews as they come down the track.
Yeah, and Dave Curry and Dan Badil-Safdari have done a great job with this crew, and the women in Shiplake have had a good pedigree over the last few years, been really competitive, having won the quads, I think it was 2 years ago.
That's right, they had a spectacular quad, didn't they? Really fantastic technically. And now they've decided it's time to have a go at the 8, and they're doing the same with the 8. So to take quads, which are sort of only 4 women, really well drilled from Shiplake, but also get them to sweep oar, that's 1 oar each, and to convert that sculling success into rowing success.
Yeah, and the school sees rowing as their primary sport and really investing, giving these athletes opportunities to come and study at the school at Shiplake and also pursue their rowing. And Godolphin still attacking the race right to the end.
Well, welcome if you're just joining us at the end, the last couple of races of Henley Royal Regatta 2024's first day, and it's really been the best racing conditions of the day the last couple of hours as the water's flattened out. Hammer and Toms from Godolphin and Latymer, brilliant, still giving it absolutely everything to play for. Anything could happen ahead of them. They've got to believe right to the line. That's the attitude you want to have. You're going to come back next year, you benefit from being this kind of attitude when you're racing. Amazing aggression there by the crew. So Shiplake, the last 4 or 5 strokes of the race for them. It's been a beautiful race to start their campaign in the Prince Philip Challenge Cup for Junior Women's 8s. They take the win. and they'll have enjoyed that immensely. And Godolphin and Latymer attacked all the way. They saw Shiplake slipping away from them from the very start, but they gave it their all right the way through the race, and that's exactly what you want to see. Great work from all 16 athletes and their 2 coxes. Shiplake take the win and go through to the next round.